Good evening, I'm Tim McQuiston. I'm the editor of Vermont Business Magazine. Welcome to the 5th Annual Rising Stars Awards Ceremony. Congratulations to the Rising Stars Class of 2014. Probably many of you know that I am not the usual host. Our fearless leader, John Booten, is, as Al Michaels would say, out with a knee. And he is missing this very much, except that he's right on the other end of that cell phone call right there. So you can all say hi to John. I want to introduce my colleagues at Vermont Business Magazine, two very extremely important people that you probably have met through email or otherwise, Tricia Salva and Katie Cattell. Tricia did all the legwork on the words, and Katie on the visual, so you can thank them later. At our table, Teresa Lemna, our circulation manager, Cindy Marcotte, our bookkeeper, Nino Abbott and Charles Keating, our account executives. Did I miss anybody who works with me? Good. I was at an event in September. It was about 37 degrees, and the U.S. Department of Agriculture secretary was here. She's from Georgia, and it's September, it's summer, and it's really, really cold, and she could not have been colder. And Ted Brady, who's a rising star today, was there, and I've known Ted for a long time. And there was another woman there who I didn't know, and she got up and started talking passionately about the Farm to School program, and I thought, this is someone that should be a rising star. And sure enough, Catherine Sims is indeed here today as a rising star. And I point her out not only because it shows my prescience and wisdom and this all, but it tells you about the kind of people that are here today that we're going to honor. But before we do that, I have to make a speech. The Rising Stars program was established by Vermont Business Magazine in 2010. Since 2006, VBM has published an annual publication we called Next Up. Next Up is distributed to every high school in Vermont. The purpose of Next Up is to show Vermont's juniors and seniors that there are great opportunities right here in our state. It seemed like the next logical step was to showcase the young leaders we already have in Vermont, hence our Rising Stars. Everyone should have a copy of this year's Next Up insert in their program in the November issue with Jim Douglas, who actually was a judge for this event. He couldn't be here today. And we'll go in that order, too, so if you're wondering how it's going to proceed. Sometimes we go in alphabetical order by last name. Sometimes we go by first name. This is just the way it fit. The Rising Star event helps us to highlight the accomplishments and contributions you have made to your individual organization and to your communities. And the community part is really crucial to this. There's a lot of outstanding people in Vermont, young people. We have 40 under 40 right here, and it's really the giving back to the community, the involvement in the community that really has pushed this group of people here tonight and whom we honor, and it really makes a big difference to what our state is and where we're going. The Rising Stars event helps us to highlight the accomplishments and contributions you've made to your individual organization, your community. I just said that. But I wanted to emphasize it even further. Those who believe Vermont is losing its young talent need only to look at all these outstanding individuals. This year's class is made up of 40 individuals under the age of 40. A panel of judges selected the award recipients for their commitment to professional excellence and involvement in their communities. The communities these honorees live, work, and play in have benefited from their contributions. I want to thank our outstanding judges for the time they took to review all of the applications. There's 150 or so, I believe, and it's pretty exhaustive, and it takes a lot of time. And Kristen Carlson and Joe Dowd, who are former winners, we try and get this former Rising Stars involved in the process. John asked Kristen if she wanted to do it next year, and she said, I don't know. but it's part of the, the giving back of the whole process. This was no easy task, and I think you've asked any of them, but there have been several who have done it all 5 years. Some of the judges are with us tonight. Please stand and be recognized as I say your name. Kristen Carlson, Director of Media at Green Mountain Power. Joe Dowd, Assistant General Manager for the Lake Monsters baseball team. Kathy Murphy Moriarty, Associate Vice President of Marketing and Communications at Norwich University. Margie Sweat from Vermont Trophy and Engraving, who is one of the judges for the entire time we've done this and has been such a great contributor to all our events. And she is her business made the plaques you're going to receive later. Anson Tebbets, News Director at WCAX. There's a couple who weren't able to attend. Governor Douglas, who I mentioned, who's also participated all 5 years, so we thank him for that. And Linda Rossi from Vermont SBDC, who's also not here, they'll get their gift bags unless they forget to pick them up, and then I get to keep them. Since I am filling in on this, you can see I'm kind of like, but the good news is, how when you have a substitute teacher and you get away with anything, what happens at Rising Stars stays at Rising Stars. So. I'd like to recognize the companies who contributed the great gift bags we have for the judges and each of the honorees. Vermont Teddy Bear, Darn Tough Socks, Vermont Country Store, Blake Hill Preserves, Champlain College, Downs Racklin Martin, Vermont Spirits, Vermont Trophy and Engraving, and Blue Cross Blue Shield of Vermont, who has put in a year of premiums in the bag. Yeah, how's that? At this time, I'd like to thank our sponsors for tonight's event. It takes a village, okay? We couldn't do this on our own. Champlain College, Comcast Business Class, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Downs Racklin Martin, Fuse Marketing, who did the drink tickets, Sound Vision and Third Generation Design, and please, Steve Giroux, who's doing the video. This will be videotaped. He's around, so thank Steve. If he interviews you, be nice. Without all their support, we could not have put this event on tonight. It is now my honor and pleasure to introduce to you Vermont's Lieutenant Governor, and a man I'm sure who's glad to be on Thursday after all he's been through. Phil Scott, LT, please come up and... Now, I have to embarrass him here a little bit. Lieutenant Governor Phil Scott is a native Vermonter who grew up in Barrie and graduated from Spalding High School in UVM. He was elected to the Vermont Senate in 2000 and represented Washington County for 5 terms, serving as chair of the Institutions Committee and vice chair of the Transportation Committee. He was elected Lieutenant Governor in 2010 and reelected in 2012 and 2014, and this was written before Tuesday, by the way, so. Outside of the State House, Phil Scott is a small business owner, a contractor, I'm sure, as you know, and a well-known stock car driver. He's also active in many community service projects. The tire resale and recycling program, which just concluded, Wheels for Warmth, has raised $250,000 for home heating fuel efficiency programs. They just celebrated their 10-year anniversary, and what a great role model for community service. Welcome, Phil, and thank you very much for coming.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all very much. It really is an honor for me to be here again this year, and congratulations to all of the rising stars that are here tonight. I'm here in the dual purpose category. in a dual capacity. I have two rising stars here. My current Chief of Staff, Rachel Feldman, and my former Chief of Staff, Nancy Brooks, and I'm very proud of them. As anyone knows, whether it's in politics, business, life in general, or as a stock car driver, you surround yourself with people that are better than yourself, and I really have been blessed by having two that really do a tremendous job for the state of Vermont, and I'm very proud of them as well. We're kind of a quirky state here. You know, I know that comes as a surprise, but when I travel about, particularly to Lieutenant Governor conferences, it gives me a real appreciation for what we are. And I'll just tell you one little story. I've got many, but this was one. It was last year, and I went to a stock car race in Devil's Bowl down in Fairhaven, and it was a Sunday afternoon, and I had a Lieutenant Governor's conference in Boston that began that night. So I jumped in my pickup, which most other lieutenant governors have a whole entourage, have a security staff, a big SUV and so forth, but I jumped in my pickup, headed to Boston, pulled up downtown in front of the hotel where the conference was being held, and pretty soon somebody came out and said, I'm sorry, you can't park here. And I said, well, I'm here for the conference. And he said, well, what conference is it? I said, well, it's the Lieutenant Governor Conference. I said, you look, I have the number 2 plate right there. And he looked out in the front, and he saw the number 2 plate, and he said, oh, that's fine. He said, you can park right here. He said, when is the Lieutenant Governor getting here? Yeah, I get that a lot. You know, we did have this little event this week, this election, and so I've been talking about some of the issues that we've been facing here in the state of Vermont. Demographics is a huge issue for us. Governor Douglas has spoken about this in years past, Governor Shumlin as well. But we are a state of 625,000 people. That hasn't changed a lot in the last decade. But what has changed is the demographics within that 625,000. So we're between 2000 and 2010, we've also actually lost about 30,000 people out of the category from 25 to 45. And that's a big problem for us, and something we need to address. We need to really take a look at that, because those are the folks, you're the folks that pay the bills, and you're the workforce. So I'm looking forward to having those discussions in the future. But when I look around the room, you know, I'm encouraged, because there are a lot of stars here, a lot of bright lights, and I can't thank you enough for choosing to live and work in Vermont. And I know that's a choice, and it's a choice you make. We aren't exactly known for our affordability here in the state, and I know it's not always easy, but you've chosen to live here, as I have, and I think it's worth it. But I know that with your help, with each and every one of you working to change the affordability issues, more prosperity and so forth, and I hope you don't let your celebration and involvement stop here. I think mentoring a young Vermonter, younger than, you know, some of us think that 40 is young, but under 40, under 20, if you can mentor a young Vermonter who is interested in your field and let them shadow you for a day, show them that it is possible to live and work here in Vermont and build a great life here, I think that that's what will make a difference. And so my sincerest congratulations to each and every one of you. And please know that the State House is your house. We want to hear from you, particularly our youth, because it's your future. It's something that you have a stake in. And my door is literally open to any one of you that has any ideas about what we can do to help you prosper here in the state of Vermont. So thank you very much for having me here. And now comes the fun part.
It is now time to get the ceremony started. I would like to have, before I introduce the Master and Mistress of Ceremonies. When you're introduced, as soon as you hear your name, they call your name, make your way up here, turn to the crowd, curtsy, if you're a woman, bow if you're a man. And then you get to take a picture with the Lieutenant Governor and I, which means you're going to be the best looking person in the guaranteed. Our MCs this evening, we're very, very pleased to have them, are Veronica Williams from Downs Racklin Martin and Dr. Wesley Balda, Dean. You know, these academic titles, you gotta grab a breath. Dean of the Robert Stiller School of Business at Champlain College. Would you please come up? And you'll proceed up here and get your picture taken. Everyone can follow along on the program. After the ceremony, we would like all the winners to please come back up on stage for a class photo. This is always a fun event, right over here. And please remember to sign the poster that's out there. It's a collector's item. Wesley and Veronica, you're on.
Hillary Boone. Hillary is Program Manager, Benchmarks for Better Vermont. Her career highlights include leading a wilderness crew with the Vermont Youth Conservation Corps in the rainy summer of 2008, her first show, as a stand-up comedian and eventually becoming a member of the Vermont Comedy Divas and Divas Do Good, designing a mentoring program that matches 3rd to 5th grade students with adult mentors. Her favorite website, Google Maps. How did anyone get anywhere or plan anything before Google Maps? Something fun that few people know about her. She's traveled through Costa Rica, Ecuador, and Peru, volunteering and organic farming. She thought that she would return with conversational Spanish. Instead, all she brought home was a really pervasive infestation of fleas. That's all better now, right?
It's fine.
Okay. Favorite hobby? She performed stand-up comedy all over New England. The first 5 minutes of stand-up were the scariest 5 minutes of her life. Being a comedian gives her an incredible new perspective on bad days. The more terrible things are, the funnier they will be performed on stage.
Our second rising star is Ela Chapin, the Viability Program Director in at Vermont Housing and Conservation Board. Ella. Ella's favorite part of her job is she really enjoys seeing the staff she supervises have their own successes and grow in their positions. Something fun about Ella that few people know is besides working full-time and raising her 2 boys, she is also a lifelong dancer. She has performed for 15 years with various African dance troupes. Her favorite hobby, she is a very serious gardener, following in her family's footsteps, growing most of the root crops her family of 4 eats throughout the year, and nearly all the fresh vegetables they eat from June through December. Her favorite Vermont escape is a classic Vermont day. Every fall, she takes her family and collects apples from her neighbor's orchard and then spends the afternoon at their local cider press making all the cider they need for the year. Highlights of her career to date include rescuing an adult with a shoulder dislocation off an 80-foot rock face, that's impressive, sailing from Maine to Bermuda, and studying sustainable communities in northern Sweden. Congratulations.
Richard Burkfield. Executive Director, Food Connects. Career highlights, co-founding Food Connects in 2013 with a mission to cultivate healthy food and farm connections in classrooms, cafeterias, and communities. Also being general manager of Wyndham Farm and Food, a local food aggregation and distribution business serving schools, hospitals, and more. Favorite social media, Twitter, for Vermont Food System news feeds. Most inspiring mentor is Peter Allison, former of Upper Valley Farm to School, now of Farm to Institution, New England. Favorite Vermont escape. It wouldn't be his favorite anymore if he shared it with the world. He does enjoy fishing. Just being on or near the water recharges him.
Next is Renee Dahl, recruiter at Fletcher Allen Healthcare. Renee's favorite part of the job is when she was contacted by a young woman who had been diagnosed with breast cancer. Renee was able to put her in contact with other women who had also been diagnosed at a young age and were thriving years after, and that reinforced why Renee does what she does. Her favorite hobbies include running, reading, and being outside with her husband, Tim, and their children. Her favorite Vermont escapes, she has two favorites, her backyard, which is a little oasis in the suburbs, and her in-laws camp on Isle of Lamont, sorry. Something fun that a few people know about her, she was on an all-female dart team when she first moved to Vermont. They weren't very good, but they had a lot of fun.
Heidi Auclair. Heidi is co-owner of Moreways Moving and Storage. Favorite part of her job is all the amazing people that she gets to meet and move, apparently. Favorite hobbies are hiking, baking, stand-up paddleboarding, dancing, and Zumba. Favorite website is Huffington Post. Vermont business person she would like to have lunch with, Tony Pomerleau. Not only is he incredibly successful, but he is also very giving and supportive of his community. Career highlight was when she purchased a building for her business. This was a major goal and an amazing accomplishment. Favorite part of living in Vermont is the multitude of opportunities to get involved. Something fun that few people know. She enjoys baking, singing karaoke, and doing Spartan races.
Kyle Lewis, Director of Marketing at Ski Vermont. Kyle's favorite part of her job is working with the many stakeholders for the common goal of promoting skiing and riding in the state of Vermont. Her most inspiring mentor, Kathy Murphy, has been a positive influence in her career thus far. Her favorite website, huge surprise, is skivermont.com. It's the first website that she's been part in creating from start to finish. Congratulations. Her Vermont business person she would like to have lunch with, and Parker, if you're here, I'd like to think you could help her out with this, is Bill Stanger. She says it would be great to have an informal setting to talk about life, skiing, Vermont, and economic growth. Something fun about Kyle that a few people know is that her parents chose the name Kyle because they liked it so much for Kyle Petty, Richard Petty's son, the king of NASCAR. And they decided whether she was a girl or boy, it would work out. So.
Keith McGilvery. Keith is the weekday 11 p.m. co-anchor and reporter, WCAX TV. Most inspiring mentor, his sister Susan, is one of his biggest mentors. She's cheered him on and checks in before each broadcast to see what we're covering and to make sure that he has the facts straight. Favorite hobby, loves to travel. He's backpacked in 5 continents. His adventures have taken him hiking along the Great Wall of China, exploring ancient sites in Greece, and to a lecture with Fidel Castro at one of his palaces in Cuba. The cigars were good, too. Favorite Vermont escape, nothing beats a run through Oakledge along Lake Champlain with just enough money for a creamy. Something fun that few people know, he's a twin. Mark and Keith were born 3 months early, tipping the scales at about 2 pounds each.
Catherine Sims, founder and executive director, Green Mountain Farm to School. Catherine's favorite part of her job is that she gets to garden with kids. She especially enjoys seeing the look on a student's face when they finally taste the fruits of their harvest. Something fun about her that few people know is that she was a pole vaulter in high school. Wow. Favorite Vermont escape, the waterfall and swimming hole near her house. Favorite social media, Instagram. It's a great way to stay connected, and she thinks it encourages everyone to be an artist. Vermont business person she would like to have lunch with. When she was 8, she had the opportunity to meet Madeline Kunin during her term as the first female governor of Vermont, and Catherine, Peter, maybe we could hook her up, would welcome the opportunity to connect with her again.
Colleen Parker. Colleen is owner-director, CMP Health Services. Favorite part of her job, she loves the environment that she's practicing in and the more personal love of care she can provide for her patients. It embodies what she enjoys about Vermont, the people and the quality of life. Most inspiring mentor, someone who has always inspired her, is Megan Frenson. Vermont business person she would like to have lunch with, Raj Bhakta, incredibly charismatic and with a great eye for business, and she likes the whiskey. Something fun that few people know, she knows how to dance the traditional Garba dance from India.
Nicola Booten, owner-director of Fusion 802 Dance Studio. Nicola's career highlights are that she has danced and taught in different countries around the world, but her highlight is every time she sees a student, young or old, dance passionately. Fusion 802 is a community in which students and families come together and support each other. Outside of Fusion 802, the dancers, teachers, and families can be found performing, walking for the Making Strides for Breast Cancer Awareness event, performing in nursing homes and supporting other local businesses, and organizations like VPR, Camp Tecumseh, Building Bright Futures, and Lyric Theater. Her favorite Vermont escape is Jay Peak. Her favorite website is findandgoseek.net. I just found that this weekend. I don't even know why, but it's a great resource for parents in Vermont. And her most inspiring mentor is Miss Gaynor Owen, the principal of her old dance school and college. She instilled the love of dance into all of her students. Congratulations, Nicole.
Steve Gagne. Steve is the owner and head brewer, 14th Star Brewing Company. We'll talk later, Steve. Career highlights. Love seeing people excited about St. Albans again. It's a great little city worth exploring. He also likes the day he was able to hire new employees and pay them livable wages, now responsible to someone other than himself for the success of the business. Community involvement, serving on the St. Albans City Economic Restructuring Committee, a guest lecturer at Norwich University, sharing experiences both as a soldier and an entrepreneur. Next spring, his 14 Star Army will be organizing fans of the brewery to work with them on local projects that will help those in need. Favorite hobby is sleeping. Doesn't get to do that very often right now.
Next, we have Scott Buckley, General Manager of Enpro Services. Scott's career highlights include being able to help clean up after Tropical Storm Irene. He and his team worked to protect human health and the environment from fuel oil and other chemicals that were released as a result of the storm. His favorite Vermont escape, he and his wife really enjoy heading to Smuggler's Notch on the weekends to make their own staycation. Favorite social media, his vote is LinkedIn. He gave up many years ago trying to keep up with tweets and status updates. Vermont business person he would like to have lunch with, Brian Kelly of Keurig Green Mountain Coffee. And Brian, Scott would like to know, if not lunch, maybe a cup of coffee. Something fun that a few people know, he drove a car in the United States Vice Presidential Motor Coach in high school. Driving on the interstate with no other traffic going well over the speed limit was a surreal experience, he says. He drove the press convoy van with Wolf Blitzer, which is so cool. Yeah, and Straggler won to make sure they didn't forget anyone. He offered to drive the vice president, but apparently the Secret Service already had that covered.
Rebecca Grenier. Rebecca's a software developer, Eating Well Media Group. Her favorite part of the job is when she can help people. A close second is solving difficult puzzles. Favorite Vermont escape? Hesitates to mention a cemetery under escapes, but highly recommends visiting Hope Cemetery in Barrie to see the many interesting and a few bizarre gravestones. Favorite website? Ever-changing. Right now it's reddit.com. Career highlights? Definitely the 2013 Vermont Hackathon, where she led the Becky and the Hackettes to become the first all-women's team to ever compete. Took home second place. Something fun about herself, few people know, has an identical twin sister who lives in Vancouver and works in Canadian reality television.
Lara Bunn, Efficient Product Strategy and Planning Manager, Vermont Energy Investment Corporation. And I love Lara's enthusiasm because her career highlights are just coming into work every day. That's awesome. Also last year, in the Environmental Protection Agency awarded her team with the Partner of the Year award. The award is a huge honor and a great recognition of the incredible hard work that the team does every day, striving to save energy and money for all Vermonters. Most inspiring and most influential mentor is Tim Palmer. Tim is a true once-in-a-lifetime gift to those who work with him. Isn't that nice? Something fun about her that few people know is every summer in high school she traveled out to Wyoming to wrangle horses on a ranch near Yellowstone. I just came back from the National Barrel Racing Association World Champions. We should hang out.
Sean Buchanan. Sean is the president of Black River Produce, Black River Meats. Favorite part of his job is hearing from a customer how much they appreciate what he does. This really helps remind everyone in the company that their job is important. The most inspiring mentor is his brother. He is completely selfless, and when Sean sees him, it makes him want to be a better person, husband, and father. Favorite hobby, telemark skiing. If he could ski every day, he would be in heaven. Taking naps is a close second. Favorite Vermont escape, Shelburne Farms. The connection to the land, the intense beauty, and the uniqueness reminds him how special our state is and that our agricultural and business innovation is what defines us. Something fun that few people know. In his professional life, he goes nonstop. In his personal life, he's very boring. And when not working, loves to cook at home where he can hear the sounds of his wife and kids playing.
All right. Dan Osmond, Director of Camp Programs, the Vermont Association of Mental Health and Addiction Recovery. Dan's favorite part of his job is he thinks the idea of instilling success in people is really important and allows them to see their full potential. Being able to offer that to those who attend Camp Daybreak and Camp Thorpe is really powerful. His favorite hobby is he likes playing disc golf at a course in Waterbury. His favorite escape, Dan goes to Jay Peak with his family. They love the pump house, especially his 3-year-old, and he also loves their camp in Goshen. The Vermont business person he would like to have lunch with is Ben and Jerry. And something fun about himself that a few people know is, and we should talk about this later, he met his wife at Camp Daybreak when they were in high school. Now, almost 20 years later, they have an adorable 3-year-old named Emma. Congratulations.
Nancy Brooks. Chief Marketing Officer for the state of Vermont. Favorite part of her job, she finds great satisfaction in working with smart and passionate people who happen to be overwhelmed by the prospect of marketing. She's able to help them feel empowered and successful. Most inspiring mentor. Has to give credit to two people who showed her the value of caring about others, her mother and, oddly, Lieutenant Governor Phil Scott. Favorite Vermont escape, shopping for a maple creamy on the way home from work in the summer. Favorite social media, a cup of coffee. Connecting in person is much better than online. Vermont business person she would like to have lunch with, Kristen Carlson. Something fun that few people know. Every line from the movie Airplane. She's serious. Don't call her Shirley.
Next is Rachel Feldman, Chief Staff for the Office of Lieutenant Governor Phil Scott. Rachel's favorite part of her job is getting to work with Phil Scott and Vermonters every single day. She's never bored, is constantly inspired, and always learning something new. Her career highlights include telling the story of the old Champlain Bridge for WCAX, complete with archival footage of the then New York Governor Franklin D. Roosevelt walking across it, selling most of her belongings and moving to Israel for a teaching fellowship. Her community involvement includes her favorite volunteer activity is working with Phil Scott's Wheels for Warmth. She helps plan it, works with a diverse and hilarious team, and then that day she gets a massive workout hauling tires. Nice, Phil. Something fun about her that few people know is that she plays the hammered dulcimer. She does still have to call her dad for helping tune it, however, it does have 46 strings after all.
And from one of Vermont's great institutions, Champlain College, Megan Haley. I talk to Megan at least once a day. She's our Assistant Vice President of Marketing at Champlain College. Favorite part of her job is her team. Learns something every day because of the people she works with, whether it be from the student interns or the directors. Most inspiring mentor, her mother, and she's over there sitting right now. She taught her to treat others as she would want to be treated, to try new things, and to never stop learning. Favorite hobby, running. It's like therapy. Favorite social media, Instagram. It appeals to her short attention span. Something fun, she worked the breakfast staff shift in the cafeteria in college. It was called Omelet Girl by her classmates. She still makes a mean omelet.
And we're about halfway through at number 20 with Sarah Morris, Director of Sales and 5th Generation host at Basin Harbor Club. Sarah's favorite part of her job, working at Basin Harbor Club, has introduced her to people from all over the world. Returning guests and staff have been a part of her extended family for her entire life. Her most inspiring mentor, she wouldn't be the person she is today without her mother's guidance and influence. Something fun about her that few people know is that while she doesn't enjoy blood or gore, she does appreciate having the wherewithal to handle any situation, and that spurred her to get certified as a wilderness first responder. The person she would like to have, the Vermont business person she'd like to have lunch with is Peter Johnson from Pete's Greens. And her favorite Vermont escape, while it isn't always easy, an annual swim across Lake Champlain in the Narrows is a personal priority.
Peter Pomerantz. Peter is principal designer and cabinet maker at Pomerantz Woodworking. Favorite part of the job, leading a team of artisans and crafting projects larger than any one individual could efficiently manage, yet more personalized than a factory could ever produce. Something fun that few people know, he has a bachelor's degree in wilderness therapy and have enjoyed leading many expeditions with special populations. Favorite hobby, backcountry skiing out his back door with his wife Sarah and black lab Sully. Favorite Vermont escape, camping trips with sons Quinn and Alden aboard their sailboat on Lake Champlain. He enjoys living in the mountains, but the cool open waters are a wonderful escape during summer days.
Next is Stephanie Hanley from White and Burke. She's the Chief Operating Officer and Senior Project Manager there. Stephanie says her most inspiring mentor is David G. White, the president of White and Burke. She says he's inspired her both personally and professionally, and she aspires to be as evolved as he is. Her favorite hobby, she loves to dance most of all. She was a ballerina for 12 years and has tried everything from tap to foxtrot. Her favorite Vermont escape, her tried and true, is Mount Philo, a wonderfully fast and steep hike for a truly blissful and rewarding view. Her favorite website is Pandora. She enjoys exploring new music. And the Vermont business person she would like to have lunch with is Mary Powell, CEO of Green Mountain Power.
Rich Hornby. Rich is plant manager, Matt Colden. Favorite part of his job, early on he had a passion for building teams. His position at MAC allows him to lead and take part in the revival of American manufacturing. Most inspiring mentor, he's been fortunate enough to have a number of great mentors in both his military and civilian career. One that stands out is Colonel Bob Helgeson. He taught and exhibited a strong commitment to excellence, unwavering integrity, and service to others. Favorite website, he's a big sports fan and likes boston.com. Something fun that few people know, his middle name is Alden. His family lineage on his father's side goes back to John and Priscilla Alden, two of the original Pilgrims.
Gwen Pocolo, Director, Women's Small Business Program at Mercy Connections. Gwen's favorite part of the job, she says she's been gifted with an incredible team of people with whom she can brainstorm, collaborate, and innovate. Her favorite hobby, she enjoys cooking, visiting museums and art galleries, and dancing salsa. Her favorite Vermont escape, it's a tough choice between the fossilized coral reef in the Champlain Islands and the Castleton area. Those seem like pretty different choices. It's a pretty wide range there. The Vermont business person she would like to have lunch with, she admires the employee support and company culture at Rhino Foods. Talking with Ted Castle about his experience creating his company would be fascinating. And something fun about her that few people know is that when she was a kid, she wanted to be a lounge singer, and the first song she sang was Tom Jones' It's Not Unusual. I'd kind of like to hear it.
Andy Crawford. Andy is Director of Operations, Vermont Works for Women. Favorite part of her job, she loves interacting with everyone on staff. In particular, she thrives on helping people to solve problems. Career highlights. Every time a colleague shares a success story, like hearing that a formerly incarcerated woman has gotten her first real job with benefits, she gets a real charge from it. Favorite hobby, soccer is her passion. She loves the mental, strategic side of the game that continues to develop and improve as she ages. Favorite website, Front Porch Forum, is a wonderful community asset which she relies upon and is grateful for. Vermont business person she would like to have lunch with, Mary Powell. I find her to be a beautiful mix of sincere, passionate, and effective leadership. Something fun about herself that few people know, she meditates regularly to stay grounded, balanced, and filled with energy.
Lindsay Sullivan, Site Water Engineer at IBM. Lindsay's favorite part of her job is solving tough problems with her talented colleagues. There is often a moment of truth when you are trying something new or finishing a project to see if it finally works, and if it does, it's the best feeling. Something fun about Lindsay few people know is that she enjoys slalom water skiing. You can find her most mornings in the summer enjoying the smooth Waterbury Reservoir. Favorite social media, she likes Facebook because she has lots of friends and family living far away from Vermont. And the Vermont business person she would like to have lunch with is Jan Oman of Tetra Tech International Development. She's always looking to expand her knowledge of water as a global issue.
Fauna Hurley. Executive Director, Revitalizing Waterbury. Favorite part of her job, part of RW's mission is to enhance the social and economic vitality of downtown Waterbury. What better way to do that than to shop, eat, and socialize? She calls it research. Most inspiring mentor, her parents are biologists. They encouraged her to be active and give back to her community. Favorite hobby, she loves cooking. Burritos and frittatas are her specialty. Favorite Vermont escape, every day she gets to escape the Burlington bubble for this wonderful place called Waterbury. Favorite social media, does last week tonight count as social media? John Oliver's her hero. Vermont business person she would like to have lunch with, Pat Moulton. She seems like an economic development rock star.
Ted Brady, State Director, USDA Rural Development. So Ted's favorite part of the job, he says USDA Rural Development is the only federal agency dedicated to improving the sustainability and livability of rural communities. It is also one of the last field-based federal agencies, giving Ted the opportunity to work with Vermont and New Hampshire leaders to connect federal resources to ideas that build food systems, expand the bioeconomy, and break the cycle of poverty. Something fun that few people know, he was a volunteer EMT for many years here in Vermont and in Washington, D.C. Favorite Vermont escape, an untracked line in the trees at Smugs, 18 inches of snow. Career highlights include helping an elementary school student change a federal law to allow her to donate a bulletproof vest to a Border Patrol dog. Also buying the Irish, I have no idea how to say that. The Irish Taoiseach, a whiskey in Dublin. Thank you. His community involvement includes volunteering on election campaigns, serving on the Vermont Council of Rural Development's board, serving on Vermont's Agriculture and Forest Product Development Board, St. Michael's College Fire and Rescue, Bethesda Chevy Chase Rescue Squad, and his favorite hobby, he once enjoyed fishing and skiing, then he had kids, and now appears to be playing in the sandbox or coloring.
William McNeil. William is co-owner, Head of the Wood. Career highlights, opening, designing Head of the Wood, Burlington, from the ground up. Also winning Wine Enthusiast Top 100 Wine Restaurants in the U.S. Most inspiring mentor, Eric Warnstead. He has been his partner in crime for a long time. He also paid him to say this. Eric, where's the money? Favorite hobby, lost those a long time ago. Is driving to and fro from work a hobby? Favorite Vermont escape, when he feels like traveling, Hen of the Wood, Waterbury. When he feels like staying close to home, Hen of the Wood, Burlington. Vermont business person he would like to have lunch with, Sean Buchanan, because I have had too many dinner and beers with him and never lunch. Sean, want to go to lunch with me? Something fun that few people know. He has a strong dislike for fennel. Everyone thinks he's crazy.
Chase Coda, member owner of Town Line Auto Repair. Chase says his most inspiring mentor was his dad while he was growing up. His dad taught him the importance of work ethic as well as managerial business skills. Something fun about him that few people know is that in his early 20s, he was in a bowling league with some high school friends, and they were known as the Swamp Donkeys. His favorite hobby, he enjoys playing men's league hockey, golfing, and renovating his home. His favorite escape, he and his family enjoy spending time at Shelburne Farms, and his career highlights include graduating from Ohio Technical College and opening Town Line Auto Repair in 2005, were the foundations to his successful business. In 2007, he was financially able to hire his first employee, and he started towing for AAA in 2010, and within a year, he became the primary service provider for AAA in Northern New England. Congratulations.
Daniel Riley. Daniel is CEO Blue Bin. Favorite part of his job, in his day-to-day life, he gets to interact with a full range of odd, cool, and generally interesting personalities that Vermont has to offer. Favorite Vermont escape, he started his career climbing in trees, and it's still in his blood. Take it from experience that the best way to enjoy some of those beautiful Vermont vistas and sunsets is by hanging upside down from a sturdy branch. Favorite social media, when he first started Blue Bin, he reached out to at least 100 current and former Vermont CEOs on LinkedIn and was blown away by the positive response. Vermont business person he would like to have lunch with? Oh man, I don't know about lunch, but I'd love to get some ice cream with Ben or Jerry.
Elizabeth Stillwell, Risk and Insurance Manager at DEW Construction. Elizabeth says the best part of her job is getting to interact with a diverse group of people throughout our state on a day-to-day basis. Her favorite hobby, she enjoys gardening, hiking, and camping. Her favorite Vermont escape, she enjoys Niquette Bay or Philo for after-work walks with her two dogs, Sadie and Rudy. They are quick hikes that provide amazing sunset views. Favorite website, her homepage is the NPR website. She visits it daily. Vermont business person she would like to have lunch with is the Honorable Marilyn Skoglund, Associate Justice of the Vermont Supreme Court. Something fun that few people know about her is she spent her summers during high school and college as a sailing instructor in North Carolina.
Douglas Payne. Douglas is Executive Chef, Westport Hospitality. His career highlight is receiving a letter from Senator Lay saying that a meal he had at Hotel Vermont was one of the best he had ever had. Chefs hear that kind of thing a lot, but when it came handwritten from him, it had special meaning. Something fun about himself that few people know, he has traveled across country in a VW bus. Favorite hobby, mushroom hunting. Favorite Vermont escape, Lake Willoughby. Favorite website, fish.com. Community involvement, one of his favorite projects he's been working on recently is a partnership between the Vermont Fresh Network and Lake Champlain International. They are trying to raise awareness of the environmental problems with Lake Champlain by showing people that it is a good resource for fresh local fish to eat and that it is a resource worth protecting.
Sarah Gilbert, Director of Business Development, NeighborWorks of Western Vermont. Sarah is her community involvement. She's a founding board member of Rutland Young Professionals. Most inspiring mentor, her mother. She is a powerful woman leader, and she taught Sarah to always act with integrity, generosity, and compassion. Her favorite Vermont escape is to take a walk in the woods because she grew up hiking and hunting with her dad. Her favorite hobby, knitting. She thinks that creating cloth from a string seems like a bit of magic, and she loves how forgiving it is because you can always fix your mistakes. Something fun that few people know, the Christmas season is her favorite time of the year, so sometimes when she really needs to concentrate at work, she puts on headphones and secretly rocks out to some holiday tunes.
Mark Aquila. Mark is director at RSG Inc. Career highlights. He's lucky enough to have worked in several different industries: consulting, finance, education, manufacturing. He has lived and worked in many different parts of the U.S. and traveled internationally. Something fun that few people know, one of his dream jobs growing up was to be an astronaut. He wrote his college essays on the topic. Hobbies are beekeeping and brewing beer. Favorite Vermont escape, visiting his aunt, uncle, and cousins in Brandon with his wife, daughter, and soon daughter number 2. Vermont business person he would like to have lunch with. He'd like to meet Lawrence Miller. He started a brewery, grew it from a one-person operation to regional success. He would love to have similar success.
Paul Dame, owner, Shepherd Financial. Paul's favorite part of the job is he gets to help people in a big area of their life that has the biggest impact on everything else, their finances. His most inspiring mentor? When he got into business, his mentor and friend Mark Borjo was absolutely instrumental in his success. His career highlights: he was the #1 agent in the New England region his first year in an advertising business. Then he started his own firm in 2011. He also became the first elected president of the Vermont Young Professionals. Community involvement includes participating in Startup Vermont meetings. And something fun about him that few people know is that in 2005 he attended more UVM sporting events than anyone else, and became the very first Cat Pride Club member.
Lumir Heko, founder, Heko Engineering. Favorite part of the job, having the opportunity to interact with creative individuals while developing new projects, ideas, and initiatives. Most inspiring mentor, Timothy Hoops, a passionate mechanical engineer who has the keen ability to effectively communicate ideas into actions. Favorite hobby, enjoying the Vermont dirt roads on a motorcycle. Favorite website, google.com, it knows it all. Vermont business person he would like to have lunch with, Steve Voigt. Career highlights: he spent 7 years with NRG Systems. There he was able to design and create leading-edge products that made a difference not only locally but worldwide. William Graham. Owner of Graham Farms Maple and fire chief of Williamstown Fire Department. Career highlight: he became Williamstown's youngest fire chief at age 22. Was the 2008 Vermont Maple King. Favorite hobby: woodworking when he has spare time. Favorite Vermont escape: working in the woods. Being in his sugar woods is a peaceful getaway. Favorite social media is Facebook. It helps market the maple business. Favorite website: enjoys looking at most fire-related websites to get good training ideas. Something fun about himself: only a few people know that he used to act. He was in a few plays during high school.
So I want to thank my friends at Vermont Business Magazine for asking me to do this, but I appreciate it especially because I get to announce the next 2 rising stars. And the first of those 2 is Mary Parent, director at Downs Racklin Martin. Mary's most inspiring mentor was her father. He taught Mary that if she was going to start something, she should continue it through to the finish, even if it was hard. Her favorite Vermont escape is a morning at the St. Johnsbury Farmers Market, a beer at the Kingdom Tap Room, and an indie flick at the Catamount Arts. Her favorite social media: she spends a lot of time on Pinterest at night when she's laying with her youngest son as he falls asleep. She apparently has way too many boards. Vermont business person she would like to have lunch with, Madeline Kunin. She found her book, The New Feminist Agenda, fascinating. Something fun about Mary that few people know: her undergraduate major was biology with a focus in botany and a minor in chemistry. She never did become a research scientist, but to this day, Mary can and often does rattle off Latin names of many of the species of ferns and wildflowers of New England. Her career highlights, working on a transaction involving Major League Baseball teams. She got to see Bud Selig's signature on documents, and she said that was pretty exciting. And next is Elizabeth Wall, also director at Downs Racklin Martin. Career highlights, and this is a pretty good one. She once successfully obtained political asylum for a man who would have been killed if he had been deported to his home country. She also put a treadmill under her standing desk and sparked a stand-up revolution at Downs Racklin Martin. Again, great range. Something fun that few people know, she once ran 13.1 miles dressed as Electro Woman. I think we have photos of that on our website. Her favorite hobby, Elizabeth is a classically trained singer, and now she studies opera arias for fun. Favorite website, Title IX. What lawyer wouldn't love a clothing catalog named after the law that required equality in women's athletics? And Vermont business person she would like to have lunch with is Sabre Field. Elizabeth admires the way she has successfully made her art into a business. Congratulations.
Thank you, Wesley and Veronica. And you don't have to leave until they kick us out of here. I just want to make sure that concludes the formal part of the evening. Wait a second. All right, everyone look this way. Now, you can find all the photos and the slideshow on vermontbiz.com, and the video will be out there in a few days. It takes a couple of days to process these things. Thank you all for coming. I think the bar is still open. Finish your dessert, Nino?
Group photo?
Group photo, I'll mention that for the 7th time. Why don't we do that? Should we do this now, Nino? Yeah, let's do this group photo now, and then you can enjoy mingling after. Thank you very much for coming.